Tonight, parents and a state senator are pushing for change after learning that WRTV Investigates uncovered gaps in our education system.
Yeah, former teacher's aide at Beech Grove Middle School accused of sexual conduct in front of children. We learned the school did not notify most parents about what happened, nor did they inform the Indiana Department of Education.
WRTV Investigates' Kenney also found Beech Grove City Schools had no idea the aide had been arrested in the past.
We do want to warn you here, some may find the following content disturbing to watch.
Like many of the stories we do, this one was brought to us by a concerned parent who felt Beech Grove City Schools swept under the rug an incident involving a teacher's aide. We started digging and found some gaps that have parents and a lawmaker looking to make changes in how our schools check employees and how they report misconduct allegations. It was January 25th, 2019 at Beech Grove Middle School. According to court records, two female students, one of them 13 years old, told their counselors that teacher's aide Michael Lizelle appeared to be touching himself while watching something on his school-issued computer. Beech Grove police investigated and found soft porn had been accessed at the time the girls said Lizelle had been touching himself. Court documents say Lizelle denied the allegations. Beech Grove City Schools told Lizelle they no longer needed his services and he was removed from school property. Days later, on February 4th, 2019, prosecutors charged him with performing sexual conduct in the presence of a minor, a felony, as well as public indecency, a misdemeanor. These charges are still pending, and Lizelle has entered a plea of not guilty. WRTV Investigates has learned Beech Grove City Schools did not inform parents about what happened. The district telling us the parents of the two students who reported the incident were immediately contacted by phone by school staff. As the threat was eliminated with the removal of Mr. Lizelle from school property and with law enforcement leading the investigation, neither the class nor the entire school were notified. And some parents are upset about that.
I think we should have been notified. I had only heard about it through my daughter, which she had heard rumors.
Amanda Weddle's daughter attended Beech Grove Middle School when Lizelle was charged, and he was an aide in one of her daughter's classes.
Well, she said he was a little strange, and he seemed like he was mad all the time. He didn't seem to be doing anything but sitting in the back of a room on a computer.
Weddle says parents should be informed so they can have a similar conversation with their child.
I am glad that it's coming to light.
Parents weren't the only ones in the dark. Beech Grove City Schools says it did not notify the Indiana Department of Education, the state agency that can suspend or revoke teaching licenses for misconduct. WRTV Investigates uncovered schools do not have to report charges or arrests, even if the alleged misconduct involves students. Indiana law only requires schools to notify IDOE if an employee has been convicted of one of more than 30 charges, including rape, child molesting, child seduction, and performing sexual conduct in the presence of a minor. Beech Grove would not be required to notify the state if Lizelle is convicted of public indecency. That's not on the list. IDOE points out schools and prosecuting attorneys, however, do regularly report educator misconduct to IDOE, which the department then investigates. IDOE is aware now, but the agency has not taken action against Michael Lizelle. His substitute teaching permit from 2017 expired last fall. But some say Lizelle never should have been in the classroom to begin with. Records show he was arrested near Eagle Creek Park in 2014 and charged with public indecency, the same misdemeanor charge he's facing now. The 2014 charge was dismissed 6 months later. Beech Grove City Schools says they were not aware of Lizelle's 2014 arrest when he was brought in as a teacher's aide.
I would think they would do their own separate check. It's not like he just came in for one day. He was there a lot.
The district says Lizelle worked for Kelly Education, a staffing company that contracts with Beech Grove. Beech Grove says it pays Kelly Education a fee to background check employees. The district says Beech Grove does not see background reports. Kelly clears their employees according to the legal standard and ensures the integrity of an employee. A parent of a middle schooler named Liz is concerned.
It saddens me. It really does that someone somewhere dropped the ball. when it's our children's, health, safety at risk.
It's not clear if Kenney Education's background check found the 2014 arrest or not. Kenney Education won't tell us which screening firm they used, and Kenney has not responded to several emails from WRTV Investigates asking what happened. The company would only provide a general statement saying our substitute teachers undergo rigorous screening and background checks. Kenney Education conducts background screens, education verification, and reference checks for every candidate in compliance with applicable federal and state laws and district requirements to ensure only the most qualified substitute teachers are placed in classrooms. Mike McCarty with Safe Hiring Solutions in Danville says even though Lazelle's 2014 charge was dismissed, it should have come up in a criminal history check.
Usually it's about a 7-year period that arrest data is still reportable under federal law.
Safe Hiring Solutions screens employees for thousands of schools across the country, but Beech Grove and Kenney Education are not clients.
So we do a lot of screening of the vendors and contractors. They're held to the same standard if they have any direct or ongoing contact with a student.
Whose responsibility is it?
Then really the onus is through the statute on the school district to ensure that their contractor is meeting those requirements.
Senator Aaron Freeman is a former prosecutor, a current criminal defense attorney, and a father. Our laws currently, are they good enough?
I think so, but I'm never going to say that a law is perfect.
He's concerned schools do not have to notify IDOE of alleged misconduct until there's a criminal conviction on certain offenses, a process that can take years.
You know, when you get the first allegation, I think the Department of Education needs to be made aware of that, and somebody's license should not simply be dependent on a conviction. We should investigate that. We should want the Department of Education to know about it and do a thorough investigation.
Freeman is also concerned Beech Grove, which is in his district, did not know about Lazelle's 2014 public indecency charge, which was dismissed. It would be probably a piece of information that I would think a lot of people might want to know.
Yeah, and they need to know, not just want to know. They need to know it.
Freeman plans to address these gaps in the next legislative session.
It would just ensure that everybody that's going to be put in front of a child is an appropriate person to be putting in front of children.
Beech Grove City Schools stands by its 2019 decision not to notify parents. They did, however, send out this alert to families on August 4th of this year, expressing concern that a local reporter, me, posted on Facebook asking to speak with middle school parents. Beech Grove plans to keep using Kenney Education, telling us we will revisit the process of the services provided to us to ensure our stringent hiring guidelines are in place.
I'm hoping that they're moving in the right direction and that with this information now that they won't let that happen again in the future.
Michael Lazelle's substitute permit is expired, but parents are concerned he could renew it and teach again.
Can he turn up in another state with these charges and allegations?
IDOE says Lazelle's pending charges would prevent him from renewing his license, and the agency emphasizes state law requires schools to conduct an expanded criminal history check when hiring. Parents are still uneasy.
I am so furious. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention because, there definitely needs to be something done.
Kenney Education won't tell us how long Lazelle worked at Beech Grove or if he is even still employed by Kenney. They say they do not publicly discuss employment matters. Working for you, Kara Kenney, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. The Indiana Department of Education says it will continue to monitor the case against Lazelle, which is scheduled for a jury trial on November 18th of this year. WRTV Investigates reached out to Lazelle's attorney, who declined to comment. Beech Grove City Schools tells us, quote, "When the case concludes, we have every intention of fulfilling our legal obligations for reporting." Kenney Education tells us, quote, "We are always concerned about reports of inappropriate behavior by an employee and take these matters very seriously as student safety is our primary concern," end quote. You can read the full statement from Kenney Education in this story on the WRTV app and at WRTV.com.